The Muslim rulers didn't tax churches during the Ottoman period. They were very kind to Christians. You know, with the Orthodox Church, Israel froze their bank account because they didn't pay their tax. That because of the Islamic view of Jesus, they've actually been quite kind to the holy sites in the region. I would say that Muslims have a false view of Jesus. It's not the real view of Jesus, but they're actually quite fond of him. So there are these so-called Christian Jews in Israel that, they probably don't call themselves Christian Jews. It's Jews who believe in Jesus. There are some that are there like him whose purpose it is to tell Christians how great it is in Israel. Listen to this person tell you about how great Christians are treated in Israel. But you and I both know that Christians are not treated well in Israel at all.
No, they're not. In fact, they're the subject of a lot of hostility and in a lot of cases, violence. And it's interesting how many Christians were expelled from their lands and their homes in 1948 with the foundation of the formation of the state of Israel.
Well, the church there is still having their property confiscated to this day for settlement. You know, with the Orthodox Church, Israel froze their bank account because they didn't pay their tax. It was a tax that they just suddenly threw on them. All this time, they've not had to pay that tax. Israel throws it on them. They couldn't afford it because it was years' worth, and they confiscated their bank account and threatened to take their property.
A lot of Christians in the West are told that Israel protects Christians, but this Christian scholar is saying the reality in the Holy Land is different. Churches and Christians are being pressured and threatened by the Israeli state itself.
The Ottomans didn't charge churches tax. And so when the Ottomans were in control of the Promised Land for 400 years, in the millet system, they didn't charge churches tax. Israel started just a few years ago. And, so that Christians have pressure applied to them. I mean, native believers, the ones whose churches have been there longer than Israel has been a state, they're the ones that are facing the pressure that it's very hard to get Christians in America to care about at all.
And their Muslim rulers didn't do that during the Ottoman period?
Okay, so the answer is no. The Muslim rulers didn't tax churches during the Ottoman period. They were very kind to Christians. As a matter of fact, they took care of our holy sites. They had rebuilt, Islamic authorities rebuilt the Church of the Sepulchre 3 different times over the centuries. They had a law protecting Christian pilgrims on their journey. Like nobody messed with the pilgrims.
The Ottoman Turks, the Muslim rulers of the Holy Land, rebuilt the Church of the Holy Sepulchre 3 times?
3 times, yeah. Either completely rebuilt it or a major renovation. One time it caught on fire and they redid the roof. But if you've seen the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, imagine what it took to redo that
It's
roof.
Enormous and decaying. Sadly, it's an amazing place.
Well, a lot of those sites have started to decay since 1948.
That one definitely is decaying. Yeah. And just physically, the physical building, the plant, is kind of falling apart.
Some of the opposition to the Zionist project in Great Britain in the 1940s was on account of the Muslim authorities having taken such good care of our Christian sites that it was a bit of a gamble to let Jewish authorities do that. You know, I've heard people say if it wasn't for Israel, we wouldn't be able to go visit our holy sites. There wouldn't even be holy sites anymore. And it's like, who do you think has been taking care of them this whole time? It's been the Islamic authorities who've had control in that region, that because of the Islamic view of Jesus, they've actually been quite kind to the holy sites in the region.
What is the Islamic view of Jesus?
I don't want to say that Muslims have a high view of Jesus. The reason is because Jesus is not fictional. Jesus is real. Jesus of Nazareth is a real biological person. To this day, he still exists. He's in heaven. He's not here. I would say that Muslims have a false view of Jesus. It's not the real view of Jesus, but they're actually quite fond of him.
Here's the irony. Muslims disagree with Christians about who Jesus really is, but they still believe in him, honor him, and a Muslim's faith is not complete without believing in him. In some Jewish texts, the picture is completely different. He is not accepted as a prophet or the Messiah, and he is given a humiliating end in hell.
And so they believe that Jesus was sent by God, that he was of God, that he said true things, that he performed real miracles, and that he's actually coming again. That doesn't make them Christians.
Muslims believe Jesus is coming again?
They do. As a prophet, not as the Messiah, but they believe in his return.